Welcome back to SourceFedNERD. I'm Whitney Moore, back from the sickness.
I'm Phil Molina, and I'm down with the sickness.
Are you gonna do it also? And y'all know what today is? Why, it's February 14th, 3081. The robots have taken over and made us live in a technological facade that makes us believe that it's the year 2017 and the Earth isn't completely out of natural resources, but it totally is. In reality, humans are batteries and eternal storms block out all sunlight. But the robots don't want us to know any of that. They distract us with their lies. They manufacture holidays to flood our brains with dopamine so we don't feel the stinging of the power transmitters being jammed into our spinal cords. They say that today is Valentine's Day.
Hey editors, can we get that again with maybe just the beginning and just the end, please?
It's February 14th. They say that today is Valentine's Day.
Thanks, Whitney. And whether you're all alone or paired up or in a fun little experimental trio, we thought it'd be fun for all of us to celebrate our favorite couples in all of nerdom, in no particular order.
Skipping ahead to some of the comments, I can't believe you forgot blank and blank. And I know you said no particular order, but how dare you put so-and-so ahead of bleep and blorp?
Wow, thanks for getting that out of the way. Now let's get into it.
First up, you've seen him on the CW on again, off again, on again, and then dead, and then not dead, and then kinda dead. It's Green Arrow and Black Canary. If you didn't know this already, their love has been around since the golden age of comics. They first shared a scene back in 1969. Hell yeah. And Black Canary had a husband who died saving her life. So for a while, they were nothing more than co-workers who were harboring some romantic attraction for each other. A year later, in Green Lantern Green Arrow 78, they reveal via a flashback that they actually had gotten together, much to the delight of fanboys and girls in the early 70s. Something I love about them, though, is that they keep each other on their toes. Black Canary totally schools Green Arrow when he tries to save her because she's a strong, independent woman who does not need saving.
Me too. Up next, what might be my personal favorite? Ooh, is Batman, and there are so many options for the second name here. I'm gonna say Catwoman. Of all the romances that Bruce Wayne has had, nothing comes close to the chemistry he's got with Selena Kyle, except for maybe when he's under the mind control of Poison Ivy, but that's actual chemistry she's using, so that's just cheating. Him and Catwoman, they don't just have the fact that they're both at the physical peaks of human agility, which would make for some very interesting configurations.
Hell yeah.
But they also bring out the raw side of the animalistic elements of the two characters. Catwoman isn't the kind of girl you bring home to meet Alfred, but she's definitely the one that you will never, ever forget, mostly because of the deep physical and emotional scars she leaves you with.
Hey, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who would have thought a cat and a bat getting it on would be so hot?
Well, when you say it like that, it's not as hot anymore.
You're welcome. Moving on, another sweet little DC couple, Barry and Iris West Allen. And while this love is a little more tragic than the others, it's the feeling of loss that makes it so real. Luckily for all of us, comic characters almost never stay dead. So after Iris was killed by Professor Zoom, she returned to be a good old auntie to little Wally West. Well, Wally West. There have been a few different versions of Iris and Barry's relationship, some of them non-romantic, but as I'm sure a lot of you know, that in the CW Arrowverse, she's Barry's girlfriend and Wally's older sister. Neat. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to them.
Sure. You know when everything seems right about a couple, they really feel like they belong together, and yet something about their perfect romance feels like it's lacking? That's how I feel about Scott Summers and Jean Grey. It's like that cute, perfect high school quarterback and head cheerleader couple. Yeah. They're naive, but they're cute as hell. But the reason they make this list is because of the most dramatic part of the relationship, Jean's secret little attraction to Wolverine. This triangle, all taken together, is one of my favorites in all of comics.
That's what a triangle looks like. This triangle?
It's like Jean and Cyclops are this strong, steady, beating heart with a nice rhythm and pulse to it. But every once in a while, things get all out of whack, a bit of rhythmic, and here comes Wolverine to defibrillate the hell out of that thing, stopping the heart dead in its tracks, and then it's up to them whether or not they start beating again, or just let it die and date Emma Frost instead.
And that, kids, is what you call an extended metaphor.
I wanted to be a doctor.
Hey, don't let the lack of a medical degree stop you.
Okay.
Tight. Anyways, your point's taken. Sometimes a little spicy pepper is exactly what you need to get those boring bicycle wheels in sync again.
And that's what you call a mixed metaphor.
Up next, a relationship that satisfied everybody when it was finally confirmed because they had been shipped for so long, and that's Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. In addition to being totally rad, independent babes, DC confirmed in 2015 that they share a non-monogamous relationship. So progressive. Something I really like about this pairing is that Harley Quinn used to sort of suck to me, and I always hated that people say that she and the Joker are relationship goals. They're not.
Yeah, unless you're in a super abusive and gross relationship.
It's bad. But the evolution of Harley's character into a bisexual badass makes sense, and I love her and Poison Ivy together. So cute.
All right, now this next couple I want to call out. I love them because their love is so realistic. It is very not perfect. I'm talking about Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. These two fight all the time. They have a baby out of wedlock, and it was really awkward the time they tried anal. They're just like all of us.
Yeah.
Now, I should mention that these two aren't even consistently in a relationship, but that's just one more thing that makes it very realistic.
Yeah, plus the actors on the shows are super hot, so added boners.
True. What's next?
Another cute gay couple, Midnighter and Apollo. They're one of the biggest openly gay couples in comics and also have one of the most grounded relationships ever. They laugh together, they fight, they go on breaks and get back together. It shows how relationships are real work and there's more to them than storybook romances. Sort of like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, only gayer.
A little bit gayer. All right, time for another trio. We got Peter Parker and Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. By the way, if you're trying to pick which one is better, Whitney made a kick-ass Mary Jane versus Gwen Stacy video that you can watch by clicking or tapping that little card notification thing in the upper right corner.
Thanks.
But as for me, I personally can't really pick. In the original storyline, Mary Jane is certainly the more developed character, but aside from Uncle Ben's death, Gwen Stacy arguably had the most impact on who Peter would become. Anyway, Peter definitely just got really lucky more than once because they're both damn great and maybe out of his league, maybe. I'm really excited to see how the new Spider-Man deals with his love interest because one thing both of these couples tend to have is some of the best back and forth banter in comics, the teasing relationships, and I really hope that they can hold on to that.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, fuck you. We're friends. Next is probably one of my favorite fictional couples of all time, Fry and Leela from Futurama. Even though a lot of the series is spent on Leela's not exactly returning Fry's feelings for her, Fry's dedication to her is what makes it cute as hell. Also, because of that, when they finally do end up together, it makes it so much sweeter because dang it, we felt the emotion right there with him. God, I miss that show so much.
The brainworms? Finally. It's fitting that one of my other favorite couples also stems from the Bat family. I'm talking Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. Nightwing is one of the most developed characters in comics, period. He is Batman without the mental illness and rage. Maybe even got a little bit more charm.
I think so.
He's the guy I always rooted for, and when he finally gets with Barbara Gordon, oh, it just makes so much sense. They don't actually stay together, but in their time together, they just feel like a really mature, in-sync relationship. Kind of like the spiritual opposite of the Batman Catwoman relationship. They managed to be the only people that could ever keep up with one another, but in a much healthier way.
Also, isn't Dick younger than Barbara?
Yeah, that's absolutely one of my favorite parts too. Being a young teen boy and pulling a slightly older, hot, very smart girl. Ooh boy, that's every Dick's dream.
Harry Dick.
So that's our top 10 in no particular order. We also wanted to give a couple quick shout outs to a few other relationships that we certainly have on our minds.
Yeah, of course, Ron Weasley and Hermione were on our list, but what hasn't already been said about them, you know? Kind of like Superman and Lois Lane, who we will also give an honorable mention to.
Right, and some of my faves, Buffy and Angel. You know, they experienced literal perfect bliss together, but I guess that only gets you a quick shout out these days. Han and Leia, by the way, very debated. I'm a big fan, but they aren't exactly the best relationship to model.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Han was like married for part of that, by the way. But you know who is good to model? Finn and Poe.
Ooh, Finn Poe.
I'd totally put them in if we could get a solid confirmation of that. Even JJ is teasing the possibility now.
Ooh, and real quick, Reed Richards and Sue Storm. I mean, yeah, sure, like in their world, they're Brangelina, but we also saw how that ended. Also, I do like the way they weather a very difficult relationship, but I gotta say Jessica Jones and Luke Cage just rep that way better for me, hence them being on the list instead.
Yeah, and don't forget Hawkman and Hawkgirl. They're literally destined to always be together. That's a little too cheesy for me.
Also, it doesn't help that the most recent portrayal we've seen did not really nail the chemistry on that. Sorry.
Also, Yorkie and Kelly from Black Mirror. Holy shit, that episode. I watched it on Sunday and I just cried again over and over. It's so sweet. Okay, all you lovers out there, that's our list. Go ahead and take on the spirit of Valentine's Day and fight us in the comments.
Oh, but also, we love you. Seriously.
Yeah, we're gonna smooch all of you.
Aw.
Especially because none of this counts, like we all know. This video is just another part of the technological facade, and the robots make us watch all of this to be sure that we'll never realize we're really just two humans trapped in a giant underwater submarine with every remnant of human history lost forever, every historical scribe is long dead. Goodbye, Earth, it's the robots that rule now.
Editors, can you...
Like this video and make sure to subscribe. Goodbye.
That's right, Whitney. And thanks to everyone that weighed in on Twitter at Fimo, at TweetMeMore. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Finally, Fox is allowed to make an X-Men TV show, and which character did they pick to venture out on his own? Nope, not Wolverine. It chose Legion, or David Haller.
Have you guys heard of the Marvel villain problem? And more importantly, do you think the creators of Marvel films have heard of the Marvel villain problem?